Let's talk about the games happened on Saturday. We only have 3 games. It's gonna be a quick one. The first game is the Kings lost to the Milwaukee Bucks without Giannis. The Kings, they got Tyrese Halliburton back in a week, less than a week, and De'Aaron Fox was out this game. So if De'Aaron Fox continue to miss games, I think Terrence Davis would be a really good stream. While he's questionable, had an ankle injury, who knows, he might miss a few games. Terrence Davis, whenever this guy gets 30 minutes, he becomes a must roster. And if De'Aaron Fox or Tyrese Halliburton get traded, any of the guards get traded, he could come in and get 30 minutes, and this is what he can do. 22 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal with 3 threes. Really good stuff across the board. Tyrese, with no De'Aaron Fox, I think he could average 8-9 assists a game, to be honest. 12 assists here, 6 rebounds, and a steal, 24 points, really good stuff. 3 for 5 is from the free throw line is not ideal, but just overall really good line. He's a better 3-point shooter than De'Aaron Fox. He pretty much does everything. If you look at the stat perspective, if you look at the efficiencies, win shares, he's all better than De'Aaron Fox. But looks like they're not trading either one of them this season. Richaun Holmes, finally a great game. Hopefully he can do this more. Just the 24 minutes. He's splitting minutes with Damian Jones. I mean, we'll see. Like, he's been out of the lineup for majority of the season. At some point, he could be getting 30 minutes, I believe. And then, he could put up top 30, top 40 values. And the biggest thing is the field goal. 8 for 9. And him and Tyrese, they work very well together. So good stuff. 7 rebounds, a steal, and a block, 17 points there. Good stuff. Marvin Bagley, if you want rebounds, you could have him. But play just 23 minutes here. And Harrison Barnes went off 29 points without De'Aaron Fox. But looked pretty empty. 3 threes is nice, good efficiency, but the peripheral stats are not really there. He's a guy that I look to sell high. Do a 2-for-1, see you can get any top 50, 60 player. Who knows? He could average 20 points with De'Aaron Fox out. With De'Aaron Fox out, Buddy Hield only got 29 minutes. Had a pretty bad game. Davion Mitchell getting 20. Still a hold with Buddy. But the rest of the guys, you gotta be careful. For Milwaukee Bucks, Chris Middleton went off. With Giannis out, he's gonna have some huge nights. Drew Holiday finally started, coming back from his is it COVID or ankle injury? Also, both guys with Giannis out, they're gonna have some huge games. Both played really well. Bobby Portis continue grabbing double-digit rebounds, and that's about the only thing he's been doing lately. Really not scoring a lot, not really getting a lot of defensive stats, but still a very solid hold. Probably a buy low if I can throw like a top 80, 90 player who's been playing fairly well lately. Because Bobby should be top 60, I think, in category leagues. He's not in that 90 range on a breaking basis wise. George Hill, Dante DiVincenzo, now those guys. Well, Dante DiVincenzo played well, but I don't really trust it. With all the Bucks guys, really. Other than Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis, and Giannis, all the other guys, the bench guys, they don't really even if you give them 30 minutes, even let's say Chris Middleton is out, Drew Holiday is out, I guess Jordan Navarro has had a few nice games, but most of these guys, they don't really put up big fantasy numbers, at least. Next game is Oklahoma City Thunder lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland, they've just been playing fairly well. It's not, beating the Oklahoma City Thunder is not a big achievement, but still 28-19 after this win. They're 7-3 in their last 10, 60% win rate, at 5th in the. But if you look at the East, the Nets right now are currently the number 1 seed, 29-16. That's only 2 games ahead of the Cavaliers. And Cavaliers are the 5th seed, so a very tight race in the Eastern Conference. It could the Nets could fall to 4th or 5th seed very easily if they don't. I mean, they're not gonna have KD, right? At home games, they're not gonna have Kyrie, so they might, and they have a horrible home record too. So they could, who knows, 4th, 5th seed. But by the time we get to after All-Star break, when KD comes back. So yeah. For OKC, another loss. Shea played really well, 29 points. The counting stats sure, they've been pretty good. And efficiency too. Just this game free throw, something went wrong. 2 for 5. He'll be better than this. And the defensive side is really good. 3 steals and a block with 3 threes as well. Josh Giddey struggled shooting the ball. Sure, Cavaliers, they're a pretty good team, especially in the paint. Had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Josh Giddey, if you're counting turnovers and field goals with this guy, he is pretty good. I know his total ranking is not great, but the counting stat he provides makes him a must roster. All right, let's do a little bit experiment. If you're counting field goal and turnovers with the Josh Giddey, 81st ranked player. So not that impressive still. Just the 81st ranked player. Because again, he's also a bad free throw shooter. 66% on 1.2 attempts. So he's not hurting you that much from that perspective. Yeah. But hopefully, the counting stats are very solid. If you're counting a few efficiency category, he's like top 80 player, which is still not great, But it's just the counting stats. It's, like if you drop him, I know ranking-wise he's really, really bad. He's been turning the ball over a lot this week as well. Had 6 fouls here. But it's just a guy you want to hold. Such really good volume of rebounding and assist. And the rest of the Thunder guys, Lou Dort, just the 10 points and 2 steals. And I think he got ejected. Committed a flagrant 2. Before he left, he still played 32 minutes, still a hold. He's been making 2.5 threes and 15 points. You may be better off in the playoffs if you don't need the threes, or I think for sure he's a drop because he doesn't really provide anything else. And bad efficiency, bad field goal guy as well. So something to think about in the playoff. Darius Bazley started and just didn't do anything. I'm glad he only took 6 shots. He could be a block streamer. That's where he is at this point. And to be fair, like the Cavaliers' front court defense is pretty scary, and their size is also very scary. Jimmy Robertson-Earl also struggled 1 for 9, but he's really not fantasy relevant, I think, at this point. And the rest of the Cleveland, the OKC guys, they're not really at a point that we say, hey, we want to stream them, right? If Shea is ever out, Ty Jerome could be a stream. As we've seen, he could go get 30 points. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, Lauri Markkanen had a pretty bad high ankle injury, played 13 minutes. So he's going to miss, I think, an extended period of time. But there's, Kevin Love might get a usage bump. Not a usage bump. Maybe Kevin Love gets a few minutes, but that's about it. Like, Cedi Osman, sure, he's playing 19 minutes. He could get 27 minutes. But we could stream him if they got a good schedule. But otherwise, like, nobody's a must roster, and Kevin Love is probably rostered already. Evan Mobley went off. 17 rebounds, sure, because OKC missed a lot of shots, shot 38%. 17 rebounds and a block. He's been underwhelming a lot, really. 2 for 6 from the free throw line is also bad. But to me, he's still the top 40 player. Averaging, he's going to average close to 2 blocks. And he's a guy that could do a bit of everything, so I still like him. Jared Allen had 2 blocks, 13 rebounds, sure. If he can, and also went 2 for 6 from the free throw line, that's also really bad. But if he can get more blocks, Jared Allen has been a beast. But on the season, where is his block numbers? Well, on the season, he's the 33rd ranked player, so just the 1.4 blocks, right? If he can move that up to 2, top 30, it's one of those elite big men out there. Like Clint Capella used to do what he does this year. I guess Capella was grabbing like 13, 14 rebounds a game. But good stuff from him. Isaac Okoro had a good defensive game against Oklahoma City. Against some elite teams, he won't be getting those 3 steals and a block. I don't think I want to really stream him at this point. But a good game versus Oklahoma City. And Darius Garland, good game, 23 points. Well, the 8 turnovers is obviously bad. Darius Garland, on the season, he is the 44th ranked player. But and he's shooting 47% from the field. So don't think of him as a guy that you have to pound efficiency with. because his field goal 47% is actually really good, and he's shooting 91% from the free throw line on not high volume. But if you're pounding turnovers, because he's turning the ball over a lot. If you pounding turnovers with Garland, well, wow, his ranking jumps a lot. Wow, he's actually the 24th ranked player if he pounding turnovers. So he actually jumped up 20 spots if he pounding turnovers. That's huge. And again, if you don't need the assist, let's say your team got Darius Garland in category leagues, and you're not winning assists anyways, and you're losing. Try to sell him. Try to get a top 30 player to a team that's already pounding turnovers. That will make both of your teams significantly stronger. Let's say you got a Miles Turner maybe. Well, Miles Turner, he's got an injury right now. But that's something to think about because really the turnover is really hurting his value. His biggest category is the assist, right? He obviously scored a bunch, his threes. But he's been having a really good season. All-star. Kevin Love did not have the best game, but with Lauri Markkanen out, he could be getting a few more minutes, putting up, I think he's a must roster. Probably before already, before Lauri Markkanen get hurt. All right, let's talk about the next game. Indiana Pacers lost to Phoenix Suns. The last game they played, they beat the Golden State Warriors on Thursday, TNT. This game, they couldn't do it. Justin Holiday had 6 fouls. So, with all the Pacer guys out, I think Chris Duarte is the most roster guy, right? Gogo Badaze is next. I think probably Gogo Badaze could be better than Chris Duarte ranking-wise because he gets blocks. So these two guys are must roster, and we could definitely stream Justin Holiday, Torrey Craig, Jeremy Lamb, Kiefer Sykes. I mean, Kiefer Sykes probably not, but Jeremy Lamb, Justin Holiday, Torrey Craig. These guys could come in, play 30 minutes, hit some threes, getting some defensive stats. Justin Holiday, he provided good volume of threes and steals. Torrey Craig, I don't know. I don't know about Torrey Craig. I don't know what he can he really provide getting 30 minutes. Jeremy Lamb also good, like very efficient, can hit threes, getting some defensive stats. So these are the guys you could potentially to think about to stream in the next week or two because Sabonis, all these guys are out, and Chris Duarte is gonna carry the offense. I think he's kind of the guy that's gonna eat most of the usage. And Gogo Badaze, really good blocks guy and can do a bit of everything. So grab the 11 rebounds here. That's also really good. This game, Chris Duarte, 3-3, 17 points and a steal, 4 rebound for us. It's good stuff. He's a must roster at the moment. Same thing with Gogo Badaze. We don't know when Miles Turner and Sabonis is going to be back, to be honest. And the news also came out that Malcolm Brogdon is going to miss a bunch of games. And also they're going nowhere. The Pacers team, they're going nowhere. And even if they do come back, I would highly recommend to sell them, because even if they don't get traded and the Pacers going nowhere, and these guys are already injury prone anyways, so if they get hurt, man, it's gonna be a long time out for all of them. So yeah, I would try to do that. Shea Brissett played 18 minutes. He's a guy that, hey, if he gets 30, we could also look to stream him. But this team, by the end of the season, they also have T.J. Warren out. Who, at this point, why would he return? I don't know. They have nothing to play for. And they don't have, I don't think there's any player. Okay, Chris Duarte is the player that could potentially develop. Gogo Badaze has been in the league for a long time. So Chris Duarte could have a pretty good finish. A must roster. For the Phoenix Suns, easy win for them. After this win, they stay at the top. They have separated themselves from the Warriors. The Warriors with Draymond Green out, the Warriors are actually 4-6 in their last 10. Phoenix Suns 36-9. They have separated themselves from the Nets as well, who's up 7 games up. So that may not be good for Chris Paul. If we get into the fantasy playoffs, well, he's been healthy also. He could. I don't know. Maybe he just play and take it easy. If they are like six games ahead of the second seed with 10 games left and they got a back-to-back, obviously in that situation, Chris Paul is gonna sit. I think. But Chris Paul is so good, man. Although it was against the Pacers, 18 points, 16 assists, 16 assists, 4 steals. Great efficiency everywhere. Man, what a beast. Devin Booker also went off. Even when Devin Booker gets 2 steals, you kind of know you're playing some inferior competition. 2 steals and 2 blocks from Devin Booker. Only 11 points and took 23. Who is guarding him? Torrey Craig? Whoever did it, Devin Booker has not been shooting the ball well. You know, the defensive stats is really nice, but 34th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. Average at 28 points and 43.8%. Okay, so maybe it's the last 2-3 games. I remember he had a pretty bad shooting night as well. Overall, pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. JaVale McGee. So, JaVale McGee and Bismack Biyombo, both guys, well, Biyombo went off. What a game. 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and still 2 blocks. You could stream Bismack Biyombo hoping for a nice game, another nice game, but DeAndre Ayton is going to be back soon. And, when he does return, you know, McGee and Biyombo have 0 value. Jay Crowder injured his wrist. So if he's going to miss out some time, Cameron Johnson is a guy that we could potentially stream. If he gets 30 to 35 minutes, he could be a top 60 player. In category, across, because he's fairly efficient, he doesn't turn the ball over, he hits a lot of threes, get some rebound and defensive stats. So you could potentially to look at Cameron Johnson. But obviously check like how bad Jay Crowder's injury is. Mikal Bridges, 10 for 15, that's really good. 2 threes, 1 steal. You know, another good game. He went off versus the Mavericks. Last game had like 4 steals. So as long as he can keep up the steal and block rate, he's going to be top 60. Really good efficiency-wise in everything. And that's it for all the games, guys. I'll see you guys later.